Flower of Life and Phyto 5. A geometric pattern of evenly spaced repeating overlapping circles of equal radii in two-dimensional space. Resembling a mandala, it's a sacred geometry blueprint representing the primordial desire for completion and unity of self. For this reason, Phyto 5 adopted the Flower of Life to graphically depict the quantum nature of its 5 elemental lines of skincare. Like the tangible flower, the Flower of Life blooms too, radiating the first vibratory patterns of the universe, showing us that all things emerge from one perfectly organized pattern. The geometric pattern of the Flower of Life represents the essential concept of quantum physics. Phyto 5's energetic 5-element lines vibrate with a potency that registers in the quantum range of frequency. The Flower of Life is used as a focus both for study and meditation, but it should not only be viewed as a thing outside of and separate from ourselves. Follow for more or gain insight to add energy medicine to your healing practice. Go ahead and visit tonyad.tv/Phyto-5 or email info@tonyad.tv and I will see you on the other side. Ashe, ashe, ashe. Blessings to you, my energetic being.
Inshallah and Ashe, as always, divine wills, blessings to you. 333 plus magical, energetic beings and growing. Are we really going to hit the 444 this month, this season? Angel numbers? I hope so. Divine wishes. So share the excitement with your friends along with other like-minded virtual musers out in the galaxy. Either way, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for joining in. It really is a tantalizing Thursday. What can I say? So by divine design, the drawbridge has literally landed. The field of our emotional awareness, the foundation is set in stone. Or is it solid? Or is it on shaky ground? So just go ahead and hit the white rabbit. Do so right now. It's the only way that we can actually make certain that this algorithm will truly give you the nutritional quotient, the energy vibration that your soul deserves. Heartfelt feeling it. It's like skipping stones down to our bones, into and through our bones. Our inner value quotient, the optimistic venue, our love quotient, even our belief quotient, our thought quotient. So while we're waiting for people to hop on, join us live, tune into the replay, watch on the afternoon, and whatever timeline by design you're on. How does one know if their foundation, especially their emotional foundation, is solid or is it percolating? Maybe it's simmering. By our feelings, the emotional foundation of what we are feeling. So this month is actually the Yin Fire Snake, and it's all about passion, charm, charisma, taking it out onto the stage of life for all of the world to see. So when our emotional foundation is solid and it's grounded, not just percolating, we are in safe, sacred space or a sacred space or place, or both. So we are then really able to validate and experience this free-flowing energy of our emotions for what they authentically are. And the emotional field is vast. It is huge. And there's a new source of awareness kind of streaming in, universal streams streaming in. So it's kind of time to surf a new wave, knowing that we are all connected to this unconditional stream. The universal streams, we do have personal streams, but create yourself a personal value statement. I would probably maybe start streaming in, maybe I am priceless, or I am valuable, I am worthy. Maybe put some bullets on the value, bullet points, of ingredients, just labeling your own personal net value. So we're kind of maybe feeling a tidal wave of labeling, surfing these interwebs. So when the labels align with our heart's desires and passions, they become ignited. And then you're in this place of divine connection, spiritual connection. So it's kind of like regulating your heart and loving yourself as the divine does, and trusting what you're creating and producing because it's in alignment with co-creator, which brings in a new episode or a chapter of really valuing ourselves like soul credit does, like spirit does, like the great spirit does. So fluctuations might be a little fluid today, maybe a little unnerving. But with that, my name is Tonya D, and welcome to my virtual medicine room. And of course, if you have yet to subscribe to my channels, please do. Go ahead and hit that white rabbit on YouTube, Tonya D. That's where you're probably tuning in. even my Musing with Tonya D podcast, some great musers this year in the season of the witches. But in Taurus, we do have the Earth Star, nature empathy, the Shaman's portal, and the Sacral, the emotional field, all percolating today. And before I go any further, once again, let's give a shout out to my village, my tribe, excelling. Welcome to the show, entering the community, all of you new subscribers, and those of you that have been part of my journey since the beginning. I just love to give a shout out, a voice of acknowledgement, a validation that you are seen, you are heard. Thank you for your comments. I do see them. And again, my intention really is to hit the 444 by month's end. If you're in, please go ahead and share with your friends, like-minded groups and whatnot. It really does take a community, a village, a tribe of really like-mindedness to really change this world and transform it to better, hitting that higher octave or something greater than, really. Yeah, absolutely. And if you do tune in later to the show, gratitude and blessings to you as well. If you tune into the replay, make sure to comment your insights and share your muse. I do appreciate that. And just remember, a comment if you do feel like you need a message for your day or even sometimes for the weekend. Sharing is just another way of paying it forward. You could, of course, find me on other social channels like TikTok and YouTube Shorts and whatnot. If you just want a glimmer besides my podcast, just remember I'm your otherworldly shamanic reflecting assistant. You truly are your own healer. But sometimes we experience energetic hiccups. And we need another worldly life coach, myself included, by the way, to get us out of our own magical way so that our light shines brighter. Of course, correction. The daily snippet, what's this all about? Well, the cosmic insights, the planets, the elementals of the galaxy, doing their cosmic dance. But by design, I do follow the lunar energies, the moon through the seasons, and also the gates. The channels. I do have a channel online today. Something's been brewing and activated every day this week so far, but the channel stays the same as the season is not. So it's like same channel, different season through these gates. But for the season of Taurus, our 10th energetic center is online, the Earth Star. So this is all things nature. It's like, are you a nature empath? If you're not sure what your intuitive gifts are, take my Change Your Star quiz. Find out your intuitive gift order, your psychic abilities. We all have them. But Taurus season is when things really take form. It's what takes form kind of depends on where Taurus is in your natal chart when you're born, the season you're born into, the timeline, and the second house. Where the 4 pillars of destiny, the elements of the day, I bring that in, the energy centers, sometimes the channels, the meridians, the pathways, even the auric fields. And as a reflector, every day I'm always asking myself, is this the right time? Am I in the right place? So, my choreography, I don't go live the same time every day because it's sometimes not in alignment with my own energy, frequency, vibration. And I'm really paying attention to what I'm seeing that nobody else can see. And also, what is this movement, the momentum that I am creating? What's the solution that I'm creating within this movement, this momentum that's happening for us? If you're curious, join me in the Rising of the Origins on how you too can utilize the elementals off-grid or on this grid to really inspire a new perspective, maybe something panoramic that you haven't seen, maybe shedding light or illuminating differently. So we do need sacred space. We do need an altar. We do need shrines. The Origins is kind of all about that. And it doesn't take the modernity of the 3D world to really feel valued. So this is an inner realm frequency that emanates into our world for all of the world to see. So in the Rising of the Origins, I kind of talked about limiting beliefs yesterday, coming from our limiting thoughts and kind of streaming from above. So what may be highlighted, like the yellow highlighter pen, is a new perspective, one that you're able to really heartfelt believe in, setting our emotional foundation around that. You might even have water streaming in. That's what comes in for me. I always call in an elemental being. So you may even just have messages streaming in, sigils, signs, community, even an unseen otherworldly messenger, if you will, that are not just being created, but they're more of a foundational, something that you can build that solid ground upon. A structure of beliefs they might seem unfamiliar, but the perspective is going to transform. The signal that we're getting is shifting. And the key is always about trusting our intuition. Again, take my quiz. It's free. It's super fun, especially if you're curious about your intuitive gifts. Some of them may just be otherworldly. The out-of-body energetic centers light up in a different stage in a different way. But now that the drawbridge is actually down, we are creating an emotional foundation for our intentions, like what we intend to take form in this dimension. And when our energy is focused and centered around it, our core manifestation, it's easier to bring in the manifestation, especially, more importantly, if it's aligned with our heart, the wishes of our desires, and being abundant and prosperous, just creating a lifestyle that you may have been dreaming about, visioning, imagining, becoming real, the imaginal realm. What would this feel like? So, really filling into that desire of what your heart wishes to bring into this. I would almost call it this coronation in this incarnation, but it's an initiation of a passion, feeling passionate about whatever that is for you and through you. For me, it's probably is my podcast this season, Musing with Tonya D. It also is my online offerings. I'm super stoked about changing lives, igniting passions through the information highway while awakening the spirit. That's my tagline. I am passionate about that, but it's also super exciting for me when I see someone shift and transform right before my eyes, calling in their star. So give yourself some soul credit and feel what that feels like to feel abundant. Feelings are like our cosmic truth serum. It's a subtle energy truth serum in a way. So just a few announcements as per usual. Every day I've got a few announcements. Again, I still got the Rising of the Origins. This is kind of the tag for that. It's a free 5-day immersion. It starts June 1st. It's about setting the stage, our gift and purpose, the elementals, and also combining the elementals with the subtle energies along with the houses. So that's super exciting. And I didn't pull up this week's podcast, but you're going to love Bhakya goats. Bhakya goats. Listen in and learn about the 5 levels of pleasure. You're going to really find that you are going to really tune into one of them. I'm just going to tease you about that. Super exciting. And just remember to comment on your favorite audio room artist. Musing with Tonya D, my podcast. You can find it on my website /podcast, Apple, Spotify, and some other places as well. And I do a mystery guest on Sundays, along with a 4 pillars chart in the Rising of the Origins, a private community, if you need assistance of your elemental foundation. However, this Sunday, I'm going to be tuning into the Divine Feminine. I hope you are as well, too. I do believe the elemental highway is kind of the base of our foundation to really rise upon and rise into, rise to our origins. So for sure, join me for that immersion, to really dive deeper and just immerse yourself into these elementals. And also, of course, Cowrie Shell Divinations. I do bring this in, the doTERRA, Gift and Purpose, their cosmology into the Rising of the Origins. But I offer Cowrie Shell Divinations. I also offer one-on-one support. Generally, usually it's all about the ancestors, visions, dreams, kind of a quest for people. And I am taking a village, a small group of people, to Mongolia, an indigenous spiritual adventure. Space is limited, and it is going up the end of May, so be sure to check that out, because the price is probably going to go up $500 to $1,000, just depending on the situation at hand. And then I do have this gate all connected today. Super excited about that. But this is the prodigal son. I found that kind of interesting. It's the leadership channel. It's designed to live on and pass on to others. Past mistakes kind of are warnings to other people. That's why it's called the leadership channel. But the gate 13 is to memorize information and preserve memories from which the field can be used to gain important experiences, where gate 33 is the gate of solitude. It's calling it in to really anticipate this experience in order to come to a realization of some important truth. So that's kind of interesting. The holders of this channel, they're literally created to pass on their individual experiences to other people. The mission of this person is not just to transfer the experience, but to transfer it in such a way that people learn from others' mistakes that somebody else has gone through, so they don't make that same mistake on their own, just following through this channel. But as a rule, you don't want to show all the information that you have. Having a great memory is something you're endowed with for this. But what I liked is the 33, it's kind of a contemplative witness. It's the energy to contemplate and really sharing our lessons from the past. So I found that was pretty important as well. to bring that in. And the other one's the gate of kind of whispering and being a sounding board. So I guess that's what I'm going to experience this magical day on this elemental highway, if you will. And that does bring me to the elemental highway. And look at that. Look what we have. The birth of the fire. This season brings in the charm. The charm is on. We've got so much fire. So it's like, again, who's charming you, or are you the snake charmer? And we do have a Yin Earth Snake of a day. So this is a very charming day. The energy is coming towards us. We're having resources right below us. So some are friendly, some are mentors, and others are kind of restrictive. But we do have more mentors. So it's like the fire or the resources there, but it might come with a cost, or maybe it loses its charm. We might even have that Mowgli moment where the snake kind of overly charms us. It puts us asleep. We may even become overly charming, and that we have more of an asset, a resource, so we're more passionate about what we're actually creating. And Yin Earth is housing all of the organisms, its allergies, possibly skin allergies because of all that fire. So this would be like rosacea, skin reactions, heat, excess heat, heart pulsations, things like that. All things kind of summer, red blood circulation, the sun even, heat. Some people are allergic to the sun. Just mostly skin sensitivities, allergies on the skin. But this energy is very patient. It's thoughtful. You may be using metal. It may be kind of an innovative, radical, kind of hidden enemy kind of energy, adversity. So just kind of be aware of your feelings. Yin fire is a resource that's kind of sly, where the snake is a great resource, but it's charming, charming for all the world to see. So it's like getting our charm on. Where yin water is wealth, coming from our hidden, deep down in storage, creativity, the yang metal. And the power for yin earth, the rabbit, is also more restricted. So you might be kind of breaking through ground, digging in the soil. So nurturing the seeds that we've planted and adding an emotion to the manifestation. Share the emotion, the feeling, the sensation, along with communicating our passion with it or about it. So we do have all the elements, including metal. It's just that it's in storage, and during the entire season of the snake, this fire energy, the hour of the pig, that metal will be released because they clash. So really setting your emotional foundation for when that pig gets releasing on that metal, that's something I would pay attention today. Kind of get your intentions kind of lit on fire, light a candle, and alchemize it. It's an alchemizing energy. So when we went from the boundaries to the wild cat today, if you tuned in on Monday, we do have the wild cat. But the wild cat is this very innovative inner to outer world kind of energy. But this innovation, this creation, it's going to become real. It's going to become structured, actually. Structured through our intuition. So if you hold the emotional tone, bringing it into our foundation, emotional foundation, you're going to have a moment where you're like, wow, look what I did. So it's like, is our heart in alignment? Does it believe you can manifest it, create it? You have to hold the emotional tone. So when the inner and the outer world are in frequency alignment, that's when we're in the field of law of attraction, particles and waves that merge together. But the wildcat, it's like, to be still, tune in. There's something lurking, something unseen that we're not paying attention to. Seeing possibly where your life is going or where your life has already been. You might have a blind spot, seeing things from an entirely different worldview perspective, that panoramic view. So this too is kind of danger, like yesterday. Yesterday was like an alert signal. So something's alerting us. There may be forces swirling around us. Again, a blind eye to something. It kind of feels like the Wedame, the fierce protectors of the wild. In this case, it's a wild cat. Something nearby doesn't have our best intentions in mind. So the wildcat's also a warning. So we kind of had 2 days of a warning signal. So it's almost like what we see isn't appearing as it appears. Like it's like what you hear versus what you're seeing are not in alignment. You may get this uneasy feeling, maybe a sense of danger. You know, you kind of need to question the validity of what we're feeling because our eyes are seeing a different picture. Again, what we hear versus what we see, they're not in alignment. So really trusting our instincts, our gut senses, our intuitive gifts. Even if you don't have proof, you know, this is knowing, it's inner knowing, it's claircognizant. You can't explain it. But be discerning with your time, your resources, the information streaming in, only sharing what's absolutely necessary and gathering all that information before you make any further decisions, and knowing that you are sacred, you're protected, yesterday we did install some boundaries, or hopefully we did, and we also had the goddess. So I would affirm that I am feeling my solid emotional foundation and really feeling into that frequency. What's the feeling that's coming up for you? Hopefully it's charming, hopefully it's charismatic, hopefully it's passionate and very insightful. So, with that, make it a fantastic or a tantalizing Thursday. And join me in the Rising of the Origins. Tune into this week's podcast. Let me know how you feel, see, sense. Bracha, she's got some great stuff. The Levels of Pleasure was an amazing podcast. So, Ashe, blessings.
They make them in the lab so that they are at the most addictive point that you can't just eat one. You can't just have one piece of chocolate. You can't do that because it's designed to work with your body to have you overeat it. And so when you experience that pleasure, it leads to overeating. Like as opposed to like something like an orange, you're not going to eat a whole bag of oranges because it fills you in a different kind of way. It's got all the nutrients and the fiber that fills you up. It fills you up physically and spiritually. It fills you with gratitude. So it's a whole different kind of experience. And that's why so many people overeat, because it's not really like you're overeating oranges, you're overeating junk. It's not eating them that's the problem, it's overeating them, but that's not our fault because they're designed to do that.